All right, so I wanted to just put a little presentation together to help people understand how the literature circles are going to work because I've had some questions about I don't know what we're doing this week, and I just wanted to explain it maybe in a little bit more detail. Basically, the literature circles consist of three components. That is reading a set of chapters, which this week you're working on 1 through 6, completing the LCR, which is the literature circle response, and then discussing with a small group within Schoology. Now, notice I have that in quotes because obviously we're not face to face interacting, but you will be in some online discussion groups. First of all, reading the chapters. Now, hopefully that's pretty straightforward. Section 1 is chapters 1 through 6, and you actually have more than just this week. If you notice in the Unit 7 folder, the deadline is not until April 15th. One thing to think about, though, is that there's no official school day on Friday, April 10th. You shouldn't be receiving any new assignments, and we're really encouraging everybody to take that day off. So take that kind of out of your schedule for reading if you do have something with your family planned that day. Completing the LCR. Now, as far as accessing it, I have a video on the home course screen or the course home screen that tells you how to get to that OneDrive document. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, but make sure you watch that video carefully first. I think most people have been pretty successful. Think of this document as what will guide your instruction. There are three parts to it: before reading, during reading, and after reading. And that's very literally how you should take it. Before you start reading, you'll do the before reading. While you're reading, you're going to be charting some things on the during reading. And then when you finish chapter 6, you'll tackle the after reading. The before reading section looks like this. And essentially, all you have to do is ask two questions. What do you want to know before you read this section? And that's why it's in all caps, is because that's something I really want you to think about. Your question cannot be, what is going to happen in this book? It needs to be something you want to discover immediately, something you hope to find out at the beginning. And I know that can be, it's probably the hardest time to do it at the very beginning, but I have posted a Goodreads review and a Schmoop video and some quotes on the section 1 page, so you can, or in the Unit 7 folder, so that you can kind of explore something about this book, and that maybe inspire you to figure something out that you want to ask about a character or the setting at this point. Now, this will become a little bit easier as you go through the book because hopefully you'll start to have questions of things you hope to discover. But right now, you might want to try to draw inspiration from one of those components. The during reading section looks like this. For section 1, we're really looking at the main character. We're looking at the protagonist. So once you meet the protagonist, you're going to answer these questions, and they really just kind of focus on him. Make sure that your responses are just about chapters 1 through 6 and go all the way through. Don't just have all of your responses in the early chapters, really kind of spread them out through what happens. And they need to be thoughtful, correct, insightful, and really show that you're observing and that you're understanding this character. When you finish at the end of chapter 6, then you should start analyzing your experience and responding to it here. And these are after you read chapter 6. So you have some questions about the main character because, again, we're looking at who is the protagonist in section 1. An open-ended question is a question that is not a yes or no answer. It needs to spur discussion, and that is exactly what you'll be using them for. These items will be used for your small group discussion. So it's not only your reaction, but it's also a way for you to discuss with your small group. Discussing, even though it's going to be a little bit different, on April 15th, you'll see that discussion prompts and assignments unique to you and another set of students within Schoology. I am going to create those grading groups, and you'll see that the discussion post will just be between you and those people, not like we have it now where the whole class can see. These discussions will just be with you and a small group of maybe anywhere from 4 to 6 people. You'll have a few days to contribute your ideas and discuss in that forum, and then this process will start over again.